The big opposition meeting has been announced. It will take place later in June in Bihar. Tejasvi Yadav is saying if his father stopped LK Advani, it is Nitish Kumar who will stop Narendra Modi. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo story. Our focus today is looking ahead at that big opposition meet. Rahul Gandhi is confirmed to attend. And this meet is coming at a time when the run up to 2024 is here. The clock is ticking, and the opposition is trying to get together. The opposition is trying to forge a united front to take on the juggernaut of the BJP. All of this comes amid reports that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra might now be sent to the Rajya Sabha. Remember, there is no Rahul Gandhi in parliament anymore ever since he was convicted and disqualified in a criminal defamation case. In a moment from now, we'll be talking to our newsmaker on the program today who has a ringside view of politics and a keen political acumen. Let me welcome to the program Pavan Verma. Pavan Verma is a man of many avatars. He has been a veteran diplomat. He's a prolific author, but he's also led key positions in two different political parties, Nitish Kumar's Janata Dal United, as well as Mamta Banerjee's Trinamool Congress. He is also known for his closeness to Prashant Kishor, who is at the moment embarking on his own yatra in Bihar, trying to forge his own political identity. Pavan, thank you, and it's good to see you after a bit of time. So we hope the gap will not be so big the next time around. Let me start by asking you if you had to step back and take a kind of macro view, a drone's eye picture, as it were, of what is happening in Indian politics today post Karnataka. What what would you say? And just unmute yourself at your end, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Barkha. Great to be with you again. Uh, if you want me to take an overview, I think Karnataka has been a setback for the BJP. They had a very poor governance record while in power there, and they ran a bad campaign marked by an over reliance on one person, which was Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and a lack of focus on local issues, which this time quite surprisingly contrasted with the uh, efficient campaign carried out by the Congress party, which in addition had strong local leaders, which the BJP lacked after the sidelining of Mr. Yadurappa. Now, does Karnataka mean that Congress has revived? I think that may be premature. Does Karnataka mean that the opposition on a national scale is stronger? I think there again we need to be cautious in our assessment. Certainly, Karnataka has shown that the BJP is not invincible, as assembly elections have shown many times. But now we are looking at parliamentary election. A survey that I am privy to asks the same Karnataka voters whether they would vote, who they would vote for in the parliamentary elections, and close to 56% said that it would be Mr. Narendra Modi. So there is a difference between assembly and parliamentary elections. Secondly, while the Congress performed well in Karnataka, organizationally, it remains to be very weak in most other states where, in fact, which constitute the largest catchment area. By that I mean, for instance, in UP, in Bihar, it's almost a non-player. Uh, it's a good chance in Chhattisgarh and in Madhya Pradesh, but Madhya Pradesh is still a question mark. Now, why I'm talking at length about the Congress is that any attempt at unity on either side of the spectrum needs one pivot or fulcrum. The NDA had the BJP. The opposition unity a larger version of the UPA, for instance, also needs a fulcrum, which, in my view, can only be the Congress party. Is the Congress party willing and capable of playing this role?
Hmm.
In my view, and I've said this before to you and to others publicly, the attempt at forging an opposition unity has begun too late, too close to the elections, and arithmetical unity as displayed on periodical gatherings of political opposition leaders on a stage is no substitute for the hard work, the grit, the minutiae, and the meticulous organization required for an organic unity, whose ultimate goal obviously has to mean that the opposition is so united that it can put up one candidate against the BJP in most states across India.
You're
Now,
basically, can I interrupt there to ask a question? The survey you referenced is on our screen, and definitely you're correct in underscoring the personal popularity of the Prime Minister. Are you suggesting that for opposition unity to have any meaning, you'd need not just the Congress to be the pivot, you'd need the Congress to be the face for a prime ministerial candidate, that you'd need to declare that upfront?
I think that there are two views on this to be objective. One is that you declare it upfront, and there the opposition is faced with a genuine dilemma. I am not passing a value judgment on anyone, but as of now, in my view, are faced from the opposition to match the waning but still very critical charisma and popularity of Narendra Modi does not exist, either in the Congress or any other political party. We have charismatic leaders, we have strong grassroots leaders of or in the opposition, but they are in silos. So, on a pan India scale, you don't have an opposition face as yet against Narendra Modi. The second thing, when I talked about the capability of the Congress, because organizationally, in my view, in general, it remains weak and it is pitted against an exceptionally well oiled electoral 24/7 machine, which is the BJP. But as far as willingness in the case of the Congress means where opposition unity is concerned, the ability to cede space to other opposition parties where they are stronger, rather than to lay claim to its own earlier strength as a pan-Indian party fighting in almost every state. Now, is the Congress prepared for it? You must be privy to the most recent cat fight on one of the national challenges between the TMC and the Congress spokesperson,
Hmm.
where they almost came to blows. You have Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who just today has held a press conference, which is a direct and frontal attack at the TMC. You have a situation where the Congress, being the weakest, in my view, of the three parties who are contending in Telangana, the BRS, the BJP, and the Congress. The Congress, instead of strengthening the hands of the BRS, is fighting the BRS. You have a situation in Delhi and Punjab where the Congress refuses to join hands with AAP in Delhi or in Punjab. So, in all such cases, the advantage is to the BJP, which wins by a fairly unimpressive overall majority of votes, 31% in 2014 and 37% in 2019. But it is a beneficiary of the division of the opposition vote.
But
So,
you know, as far as the percentage of vote is concerned, if I'm not wrong, I think the UPA had 28%. That's the parliamentary system. It's the system, first past the post system, that we follow. Before I come to the macro picture, which you so intriguingly painted for us, I want you to focus a little bit on the irony of Nitish Kumar emerging as a sort of lead player in forging this unity. I say the word irony because if you look back at your time, there was a time when you, Prashant Kishor, were among those who had a meeting with Nitish Kumar. He was still with the NDA, he was still with the BJP, and you urged him. I had reported the story at that time. You were urging him, you need to leave this alliance, and you found disciplinary action taken against yourself, as did Mr. Kishore. Today, Mr. Kumar is positioning himself to be that sort of opposition crusader. How do you see that irony?
well, there is both an irony and a tragedy where this is concerned, because I have the highest respect for Mr. Nitish Kumar at a personal level. I know him well. He has been, I entered politics through his AGs. He gave me great respect until we differed, but we still remain friends. I mean, I was his advisor, I was sent to the Rajya, I was close to him. And in my view, when I joined him, he had the potential to be, on behalf of the opposition, a prime ministerial face. But the inexplicable flip flops which he did, which he can justify for whatever reasons he thinks are relevant, those flip flops have diminished not only his credibility, which can still perhaps be salvaged, it diminishes it has diminished his own party in Bihar. Now, Nitish Kumar, who once was the single largest party in Bihar, the JDU, and could dictate terms to any ally that was with it, including the BJP, which played second fiddle to him, is today a rump of what it earlier was, and is an almost marginal accessory to whichever alliance partner it joins, whether the BJP in the past or currently the RJD in the present. So Nitish Kumar has a problem. His own base in Bihar, unless it is strengthened, his ability to become, in a sense, the cementing force for the opposition lacks substance, given his own political weakness in Bihar. By this, I don't mean a critique of Nitish Kumar's abilities. It's just a situation where we are in. In my view, a man of his stature today enjoys one of the lowest popularities in Bihar if a survey was to be done. But his intentions, however late, however belated, are good to unite the opposition. I think the right time for him to do it was when he broke with the BJP, having
Yeah.
earlier been with the RJD. If he had said, I don't covet this chair, I'm going to the people in order to build a people's movement and to strengthen the opposition, by now his stock would have been at the highest level nationally. And he would have been accepted, given his nature and good relations with parties across the spectrum in the opposition side,
Hmm.
to be a kind of
And
almost Jayaprakash Narayan-like role of bringing the opposition together. But in my view, that time is past.
how do you see Nitish today? How would you describe him today? As a diminished figure, as a unpopular leader? How would you see him? How would you describe him?
No, I mean, there is no doubt about it. I've been speaking about this. He is a diminished leader. And in fact, in my last meeting with him, I did ask him whether this was what he desired to be the end goal of his long and glorious political legacy. And we had a frank conversation because we still talk to each other and meet.
Yeah.
And at a personal level, we enjoy good relationship. However, the real point is that he's diminished because on the one hand, you have the BJP, which is a larger party, and on the other hand, you have the RJD, where an ambitious Tejasvi Yadav is showing a certain impatience for when his chacha will uh, allow him to take on the reins.
So you
And
basically
Nitish,
think you basically think Tejasvi is eyeing Nitish's job, even though he's being quite proper in his public articulations and saying Nitish Kumar will stop the Modi juggernaut and so on. But you believe Mr. Yadav is eyeing the chief minister's chair.
I mean, there seems to be no doubt about it, and for good reason. Tejasvi Yadav's RJD is one of the largest, is probably the largest party in Bihar. And the government has been formed with the RJD in a far greater majority and the JDU being the smallest party. So obviously he has a claim to that position should he win the assembly election.
Yeah.
And uh,
Can I
yeah,
can I ask you, staying on Bihar, somebody you've known very well, you have worked closely with, you were thrown out of the JDU at the same time together, Prashant Kishor. Mr. Kishor is on the ground trying to build a different identity for himself than a political strategist. He's been on this long yatra across the state. Now, he was at one point tipped to join the Congress. That did not work out. Much has been made of the fact that a former Prashant Kishor aide was the one who was advising the Congress campaign in Karnataka. Where do you see Prashant Kishor in this mix as the opposition tries to forge this united front? Mr. Kishor's organization, IPAC, which he insists functions autonomously, is still involved in the campaigns of individual leaders, but not Prashant or PK himself as he's known. How do you see his role going forward?
you see what Prashant Kishore is attempting in Bihar is an alternative paradigm of politics in the interests of Bihar. It is not instant coffee, but it is exceptionally good coffee in the sense that the kind of padiyatra he's doing, the kind of priorities he's emphasizing, the extent to which he's reaching the people, the extent to which he's being able to convey his message of a radical change needed in Bihar, where Bihar becomes one of the leading states in the country rather than being at the bottom of the list, where he's trying to transcend the use of voters as cannon fodder on caste and religious lines. I know, and I visited him more than once during this Padyatra, that the kind of support he's getting from the people, because one thing you must grant to Prashant Kishore, along with the ideology, he has very great organizational skills, and there are teams working on the ground to consolidate where he has walked through and to prepare in advance where he goes. So he is working, and it has not yet decided, but he may even fight the 2024 parliamentary elections. And I think all political parties in Bihar are aware of the ground root traction his alternative vision for Bihar is getting. You may be aware that in a recent Vidhan Sabha, the election,
Hmm.
even without yet forming a party, merely on the support of his platform, uh, the candidate won in what was the citadel of the BJP and the RJD. So it was just a demonstration of the degree of support transcending the usual levers in Bihar that play
But
caste,
but but
religion, so.
if PK were to fight the Lok Sabha elections, he's not really going to be able to be a strategist in the opposition camp. and thereby, do you believe that that space now is no longer even covertly or indirectly going to be sort of steered by him?
First of all, you must understand that after West Bengal, I think Prashant clearly said that he's not doing the job of a strategist anymore. He is himself entering the political arena. And the obvious choice is Bihar because that is where he belongs. And Bihar needs transformational change. Remember that Prashant Kishor is 45 or 46. He has time to give his vision reality, and he's doing it in a very organized manner. Now, the question that you're asking me is an either or, which I don't think applies. When you are in politics, obviously in politics you strategize. And his immense experience as a political planner is going to come very handy to him as he himself becomes a part of the political arena.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let's see what happens in the space he's trying to build for himself. But I want to talk about the ambitions of another party that you've been briefly with, the Trinamool Congress. You spoke about the war of words between the Trinamool Congress and the Congress. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's statement today will, of course, set the cat among the pigeons. Do you believe that there are these ambitions, the individual egos of all of these leaders, the Gandhis, Ms. Banerjee, Mr. Nitish Kumar, because somebody is going to have to bury egos. There was Arvind Kejriwal also dreaming big at one point. Now he seems to have stepped back a little bit after all his troubles. Do you believe that there are competing egos? And if so, where do you see the fault lines?
No, first of all, it's not only egos. All political leaders have egos. I think what is being missed is a strategy to bolster those egos at the pan Indian level. So you have strong leaders in states. Mamta Banerjee, I believe, had the potential, and I will not say she doesn't have the potential sometime in the future, to go beyond West Bengal. And some of us had that vision for her also. But she is now largely, I'm saying, not entirely, restricted to West Bengal, where also she's going to face a major challenge from the BJP in 2024. So she is in her state. KCR is in his state. Stalin is in his state. And so on and so forth. AAP is in Delhi. Now, what opposition unity meant was that each individual leader will pool in his strength to at least have had by now, or for some time now, a common minimum program, an electoral strategy, and a major outreach to the people based not only on anti-Modism, but
But
an
what they are.
alternative vision of what opposition wants to do
And
for
and
the
and and,
country
and you're
and how.
and you're saying it's too late for that. It's too late.
I never say anything is too late in politics. Remember, I'm both a diplomat and a politician. But
Yes.
I think I think that while the efforts are commendable, the time is a factor. Is a factor. And for instance, take the question of the Aam Aadmi Party's valid fight against the arbitrary ordinance brought against it. I think the Congress Party, if it sought to become an acceptable fulcrum for the opposition in a matter of this nature, where a constitution bench of the Supreme Court, 5-member, has been overturned by an ordinance insulting the democratic choice of the people of Delhi. The Congress should have been the first party to say, irrespective of our differences, we will stand with you. And that would have sent a message across the opposition. But
Yeah.
now, as I said, it's both its capability and its willingness to play the role of a fulcrum. Because I tell you, all attempts at opposition unity need a central fulcrum. As I said, the NDA had the BJP, the UPA had the Congress, but
Yeah.
it requires that.
But I think you made 3 points. You said the opposition needs a fulcrum in a party, it needs a face, and it needs a narrative.
Narrative.
And at the moment, the unity is arithmetic, and that's too not in the state. So it's completely chaotic at one level. Here's my question: in Dainik Bhaskar, ask you ask a leader whom we don't even talk about her anymore, Mayawati. Where is Mayawati? Why don't you come out, Mayawati? Why did you think suddenly of Mayawati?
No, I thought of Mayawati because, you know, whether we accept it or not, the single largest political constituency across India are the scheduled castes, the Dalits. And Mayawati, based on the vision of Kashiram, realized their strength not as accessories of political parties but as claimants to power based on the need for social justice and their numerical strength. And Mayawati proved it in UP, as I've written today in my column, in India's largest read paper. She won with an absolute majority in 2007 and was chief minister 4 times. And that constituency is at the moment, I believe, neglected when objective reasons exist for having leaders to fight for the rights of the lowest down oppressed and downtrodden in this country. So, there is a space for a Mayawati metaphorically. And she seems to have, by all indications, abdicated.
And you think she's scared?
I don't know. I say rumors have it that there is something on her, but she has her strengths also. In two cases at least, she has been cleared by the Supreme Court. And let me tell you, as far as the fear of what the ruling party at the center may use against it, every opposition party is scared. There is no political party which is not scared.
Yeah.
On whom the microscope will come next. So there is a role for it. There is a role. Now, why do I say it? Akhilesh Yadav in UP. UP is the largest state in terms of seats. And at this moment, the popularity of Mr. Yogi Adityanath is at its peak. In fact, people speculate whether he will get 75 seats or 80 seats. Now, what is the problem of Mr. Akhilesh Yadav's Samajwadi Party in the last assembly elections? A coalition of just Yadavs and Muslims. 8% Yadavs, 16% Muslims is 24%. You cannot defeat the BJP. The BJP also knew its limitations. It realized that its principal support base are the forward castes, which is much too narrow. So it reached out to the OBCs over a period of time. But the opposition does not think in advance. I mean, if Akhilesh ji, for whom I consider him a friend and I have great respect for him, if he had worked, in my view, to co-opt, for instance, Buaji, Mayawati, the election results could have been different in 2022 when the assembly elections were. Because whatever it is, every party tries to plan, unfortunately or inevitably, a certain caste coalition by which it can reap electoral dividends. The BJP knows how to do it.
Let me ask you a last question. Keeping with your argument of the opposition needing a fulcrum, a face, and an idea, and the three things that you think are still missing, there has been some sort of grudging what's the word? Grudging brownie points given to Rahul Gandhi after the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Uh, do you now see him as inevitably having to lead the opposition? I ask you this on a day when reports suggest that his sister might end up being the Gandhi face in parliament among the siblings. We don't know for sure, but it could happen. How do you see that? Because actually, the BJP would love the election to be a Modi versus Rahul battle. I don't know if that suits the opposition, even after the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
No, there is no doubt, Barkha, that after the Bharat Jodo Yatra and after the win in Karnataka, Rahul Gandhi's earlier organized ridicule by the BJP is cutting less ice. Let's be clear. Now, whether he can emerge as a credible and effective face as against, for instance, Narendra Modi of the BJP is a question that still needs to wait for an answer. And I think replacing Rahul by Priyanka, I mean, somewhere the Congress party, and I would like to say, I have respect for the Gandhis. They have done a lot for the nation and the Congress. But you cannot run a pan-Indian political party, the mother of all parties in India, which still has a national footprint, only through the prism of a family. So I think there is some introspection required within the Congress. And that is the reason why, coming back to an earlier comment you made, Prashant Kishor had attempted a reorganization of the Congress, grassroots upwards.
Yeah.
Why it didn't work out is a question for another discussion between us. However, in the absence of that, merely being a non-MP, not the leader of the opposition, not the vice president or president of the
maybe he's the one trying to be the JP.
Well, I wish him good luck.
You're not convinced, clearly.
Sorry, I wish him good luck. As I said, politics is full of possibilities.
Answered like a true diplomat. The diplomat in you is never going to leave you, and I think it holds you in good stead in a political sort of hurly-burly world. Thank you, Pavan. It's been fascinating. We'll get you back soon, as especially after the big opposition meet. I think there'll be more to talk about. Let's see what they say and do. Thank you very much. Take care and have
always
a great
at your disposal, Barkha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
We started Mojo right here in this basement. Just 4 people. 4. And now we're about to hit our first 1 million subscribers. So this is to say thank you to all of you for your support, for your respect, and for your encouragement. We've always gone to where the story is. During the pandemic, when television's big anchors were hunkered down in their studios or at their homes, we hit the road. We traveled from Delhi to Kerala, covering 30,000 kilometers in a small car, reporting from inside ICUs and inside slum tenements. Whether it's flash floods or war zones, we've always put our boots on the ground. In fact, we're just back from Punjab, tailing the Khalistani fugitive Amritpal Singh. And through all of this, we have always put you, the people, first. In an age of partisan polarized media where most journalists are either chamcha ya morcha, we believe the story is sacred and the truth of the story is what matters. And now as we get ready for the next step, we need your help. Become a Mojo member and get first access to all our big interviews. Get a chance to ask our newsmakers questions. Get a chance to write and report for us for both our website and our channels. And also, interact with me and my colleagues directly through AMA sessions. Literally, ask me anything. Click on the join now right next to the subscribe button, and yes, also subscribe if you haven't yet, and become a Mojo member for just 159 rupees a month. Hope to see lots of you in our community.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.